I think our visit with Tony was really unique in that he got to sort of be introspective and just kind of get a fresh crack at explaining how these things work. Now maybe if we have him on again, which I'm open to and he's open to, and so hopefully we can work it in. Will he come again and we'll have some pictures? It's amazing actually to have a whole session without any visuals. And at least me, I don't know about you, but I mean, based on the comments, sounds like you guys really enjoyed it too. But I was completely drawn in, and I was in there like, I was in a visual world the whole time, except we weren't even looking at any visuals. So that was kind of remarkable. Of course, going to the website and looking at his stuff was sort of the prerequisite to all of that. Now, yeah, you guys, Katrina, Nicolette, Mateo, Sanaya, Madeline, I appreciate the feedback because I don't have a lot of artists or guests in these lectures. I do sometimes, but I think that he might be one that I might ask again, and hopefully more often than just with this class. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Going in there into his mind and just have him open up, how it all works. And what were some of your favorite things you learned? I actually went back and watched the video because there was just so many things about it. The part of what I've kind of always known about artists, but something that really struck me as something that he might not want to share like every time or with everybody was some of those insecurities that I had never dreamed of being an artist, but that's just I kept at it because I didn't know anything else, or I mean, he was actually studying music, and that, like I said, that's how I met him. But he just figured out at some point that he's better at art, and he feels on some level he feels comfortable doing art next to anybody, although he felt like somewhat insecure on maybe like a more surface level, but he just kind of knew deep down that he could do it. Whereas music, he was more second guessing himself, and it just I think a lot of times what the way it works is you don't really plan on a career in art, but if you've got the talent and he's clearly put in the work, the hours, the evolution, just led him where he is today, and he's been doing it for a living now for a decade. I mean, he's still kind of fresh, in the big scheme of things. Yeah, super nice guy, real humble, and when you hang out with him, just pretty quiet guy, but he's smart too. Like he's you could see how he approaches everything so analytically and things like that. Yeah, so absolutely the responsibility that I feel like some of these artists that do murals or graffitis, they're not thinking of really everybody. They might think about, will my buddies love this, or will whoever's paying for this love this? But he seemed to think that it's his responsibility to make the community better, and that's how he approaches it. That was great. I also did not realize that he's doing everything freehand, like Isabella said. When I look at his stuff, to me, it was like clearly, of course, you're going to have like, some type of, maybe gravity-based, strings or something like that, just to keep you straight. But no, everything's freehand. That was pretty shocking. Skylar, any places in New York City that you can see? Did you check out the website? There's, I mean, they don't really have addresses of the murals or the businesses, but there's certain, like the picture that I have on our homepage. I think it's called the Emerson Hotel in Manhattan. Let me see if I can find it. Give the address. 75th Street, 166 West 75th. That's just like some kind of boutique hotel. Anyway, there's several murals, several cafes. You could even ask him, write to him and ask him, maybe like top 5 destinations in New York City to go see his work and see what he says. And yeah, I'm sure he'll write you back too. He's just real down to earth, good, good dude. All right, so let's plan on having him back. I'm gonna help him put something together where we could talk about how his work evolved from the graffiti to what it is today, and we'll do the next one with visuals. I can help him put that together. Just to tell you what kind of guy he is, I offered to pay him, and I said, of course, we'll do this, and he was like, no, absolutely not. I don't know what I'm doing. Just basically let me do this for free. So I don't think it was because he's got excess money. He's doing well, but I mean, let's face it, Manhattan is an expensive place to live. And he's got a kid, he's got a wife. So anyway, but it was just really, really nice for him to come in and talk to us like he did. So I'll try to time it so it makes sense, with the curriculum. But with us being remote, especially, and I'm really the kind of the owner of this course. We could do whatever the heck we want to do. So if for instance you have an artist in mind that might be worth talking to, with a geometrical slant, then let me know and we'll work it in. I'm not too concerned about covering an X number of topics. We just we learn as we go, and I'm a student of this stuff just like you are, and I love learning from people, and with a little bit different approach, and he has it, and I can appreciate it. So, all right, let's get started here. Oh, look who it is. It's Lou, you want to say hi?
I gave you that because
oh, my son here, he made some kind of weird. They were having a car race. Looks like King Kong won. Yeah, I'm not sure who was King Kong. Probably him.
Cute.
Yeah, he's something else. Oh, you should see him. Hold on. Let me get him over here since he's already sort of in the lesson anyway. We're going to get started in about a minute. Hold on.
I was King Kong.
So did you win?
Yep. Mommy lost.
That's always the best.
Yep. If I win,
King Kong is the best.
Yep. Yeah, you don't need the headphones. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, Louis.
can I show you?
So you were counting score.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
That's
you
so
won
cool.
by a lot, actually. You got like 34 to 19. Wow. That's a landslide win. Yeah.
Mommy lost.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Okay, you go do more stuff. All right. Bye. Close the door, please. All right. So there's that. That's what I do on a daily basis. You guys have no idea. With the pandemic, I basically hang out with him from morning to like late afternoon, and then my wife takes over, and it is what it is. He's going to be 5 next week. Okay, so yeah, it's great. I suggest having kids if you feel like it. It's really a good idea. Not yet. Don't do it yet. Okay, later. You get your first job first. All right. Naomi, it's okay. We're just getting started. So this said, let's talk about the matter at hand. We're going on to the next thing. Oh, before we go on to the next topic, I want to announce, and I also already put this on Blackboard, and I want to announce the first project, which will be due next Tuesday. And there'll be a place to put it in Blackboard. When you go to content and week 2, you're going to have a description of the project there, and you will have a place to submit your project. So this will be due February 9th, and you're going to do something reminiscent of the kinds of rules, or using the kinds of rules that the Russian avant-garde people were using, and of course many others later. For instance, Mondrian was super strict, with himself and the way he was conducting business, so to speak. Also, many people later, like the op art folks, Bridget Riley and Vasarely and all those people, they were super strict about what they would allow themselves to put out. So you're not going to have that kind of strict rules, but your palette will be restricted in a major way. And the restriction is this: you can turn in anything at all that uses only circles and lines, or circular parts, like circular arcs, like maybe half circle, quarter, whatever, and line segments. So it doesn't have to be a full-on line through the page. It could be a short line segment. So basically no freehand stuff. So only lines or line segments. You could think what you would do with the ruler, and then circles or circular arcs, what you would do with the compass. And you're welcome to do it by hand and take a picture, or you're welcome to use a computer, Illustrator, Photoshop, whatever program you want, and then share an image file with us. Please don't submit Photoshop or Illustrator file. Please make it into an image file, just because depending on what computer I'm working on, they don't all have those programs. So please do a JPEG or GIF file or PNG, something like that. So that's it. I mean, I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm just telling you that you're only allowed to use circular arcs or circles and lines or line segments. And so if you want inspiration, you can go back and look at Kandinsky, you can look at Rodchenko, Malevich, Mondrian, Rothko. A lot of the people that we looked at in the second lecture, I guess it would have been a week ago. Color is fine, black and white is fine, it's up to you. A lot of the op art people, especially Bridget Riley, only did black and white. And that has a special feel to it, special effect to it. So you're certainly not limited to that. You can use any medium. You can paint. You can even do like a short movie, whatever you want. But somehow it's supposed to focus on lines and circular shapes. If you want to be a rebel, you could toss in like a little bit of freehand, but that's only if you feel like being a rebel. Okay? There's no deduction for being a rebel. Question?
Yeah,
Yes,
this
Fiona?
might be a stupid question, but would a oval count as a circular shape, or does it have to be like a perfect circle?
I'm okay with ovals.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. That's pushing the envelope, but I like pushing the envelope. So yes, you get it. All right, so that's all I'm going to say about that for now. You'll have to search deep within to find what you're going to put on that canvas, whether it's a virtual canvas or real canvas. Ria, what's up?
Sorry, I didn't catch if you said this already. Is it supposed to be in color or black and white?
Oh, either's fine. Yeah, so there's just a ton of freedom. It's almost still too much freedom because I'm not telling you what to do. I guess I'm picturing like abstract stuff, but it doesn't necessarily have to be abstract. It doesn't really matter what I'm picturing. Just the only rules are no freehand. So, but even then, you could say, wow, I'm just going to make a line segment, but I'm going to make it with the paintbrush. So I'm going to pretend like I have a ruler, and I'm just going to make this line segment. Rectangles, triangles, perfectly okay, because those are, made up of straight lines. In fact, this gives me a nice segue to my next topic, which is polygons. And I'm going to share my screen. Photography. Yes, if you want to go the way of Rodchenko, please be my guest. That would be wonderful. You can just take a real, thought out photograph, or even not thought out if it just happens to work out. And as long as it focuses on line segments or lines and circular shapes. So whatever that means to you, that's what I want you to do. That's how I want you to attack it. I know you guys come from different backgrounds, and you have different slants, different takes, different interests. So you can make this your own. And I'm going to put it all together, and we're going to look at it as a little virtual exhibit. So when basically I'm going to put it together right before class next time. So next Tuesday we're going to start class with a virtual exhibit of your work. So hopefully everybody will have theirs submitted by about 5 o'clock. So that gives me a little bit of time to put it all together. And so when you're doing your work, I hope you have your classmates in mind because they're going to be your first audience looking at this stuff. Aiden, yes, definitely. Skylar, should the file be a JPEG? JPEG is good, but other image files are good too. PNG, GIF. Do you say GIF? GIF? So, even BMP, GIF. See, GIF, when I say GIF or GIF, I think of like those kind of moving images, like with the, like 10 or 20 or however many images they put together. This will for the most people will just be a one image. Okay, Sophia, what's up?
Hi, sorry, Professor. When you started talking about the project, my connection was being weird. Is there a certain size that you'd like it?
That's a great question. No, but I will have to reduce everybody's. So you could submit whatever, but just know that I'm going to be reducing just so that my PowerPoint isn't going to be like this humongous file. I'm going to be reducing everybody, and I usually do about 1024 by 768, or you don't have to do it in that ratio, but I'm going to be reducing yours to about 800 or 1,000 in one way, and then whatever the other way comes out. So yeah, please don't submit like some kind of 20 megabit files. They're just going to be reduced by me. And honestly, when
Okay.
I'm putting these things together, that takes me more time than anything else. Is making all the files a manageable size. But
And just to
yeah,
make sure, it's due next Tuesday, correct?
that's correct. Before
Okay,
class next
thank you.
Tuesday. Alrighty, so let's move on to polygons, and I'm going to get as far as I'm going to get today, and then pick it up next time. It's not the focus of the project, so I don't really have any particular place I want to get to. We're going to be talking about polygons today, some basic concepts and terminology, and then hopefully next time we're going to be talking about how to put polygons together to tile things. Okay, so that's kind of where we're headed. Polygons themselves are, at least to me, not super exciting, but it's necessary for us to understand the basics about polygons so that we can have an intelligent conversation about putting polygons together to make tilings. So we're not just like randomly trying to do things. We're going to have a very measured approach in fitting polygons together. So let's start with the word polygons. Do you know what this means? Polygon. So poly means many. You know what gon means?
Sides, potentially? Lines? I don't know.
That is all very good. It's a good guess, but gon is actually angle. So polygon is something with multiple angles. And gon is, I mean, poly and gon are both from Greek or Latin. They're Latin-based words, and we have tons of these words in math and other fields that are based in Latin. Latin, as you know, is not often spoken anymore, but it's still an important basis of a lot of the language, especially in academics. Academics hung on to Latin more than most places, most fields or institutions. I guess some of the religious institutions did too. But in any case, polygon means something with several angles. So how many angles does it have to have? I don't know if we can have anything with like just one angle. That's weird. But we could have basically if you have some collection of points, let's say, or what we're going to call vertices, right? So we can connect these vertices by what are called edges. And that's what I'm doing now. So this here is a polygon. There's no, I just randomly put some points together, or like I said, they're called these corners, if you will. They're called vertex. One vertex, and plural is vertices. So this would be a polygon with let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vertices. Now, how many edges would it have? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Also 6. So are we going to apply this to the project, the first project? No. The project. I guess I don't have to be done discussing the project, but in my mind I was. I'm not really talking about the project now anymore. The project is, if you want inspiration, you can go back to that first lecture and the PowerPoint. I think I put the PowerPoint online, and if I didn't, I'll make sure it's there. Oh, it's there. It's called Geometric Art. So if you want inspiration for that, it's so wide open. I mean, you can make polygonal shapes, of course, but that's certainly not required. Circular arcs. Yeah, we're not talking about that right now. It's just if you think Malevich, Kandinsky, Rodchenko, all those people, and I didn't even get to talk about a bunch of my favorites like Mark Rothko, for instance. Tons and tons of people have used geometry in their art. I mean, hey, even our buddy Tony, all he uses is straight lines and circular arcs. If you go back and look at his website, that's all it is. So yeah, you could literally make a living with just straight lines and circular arcs. So anyway, we're moving on to other things. So polygons, they have multiple vertices and the same number of edges each time. So the straight line segments here that this has here, they're called edges. So vertex is this corner, and this one's called the edge. It's just a little terminology. And in fact, this guy here, this angle here is what it's called. It's called the vertex angle. And that's going to come in a big way here, probably next week. Maybe we'll get to discuss it in a little more detail today, but mostly next week. We're going to be talking about vertex angles because those determine which kind of polygons will be able to fit together. Now, let's see, what kind of polygons do we know? Let's see, can you have a polygon with one vertex, like a unigon? I don't think so. Can you have a polygon with just two vertices? Can you gonna connect these? Maybe if I put in a straight line between these two, I don't think it's going to work, but you could have, and I'm thinking of something that would actually not be on a plane, but you could have it in a different type of surface. Like here's an example. See, plane is not the only surface you could possibly have. For instance, we're all currently sitting, most of us are sitting, on the Earth, right? Earth is a sphere. So we're sitting on this sphere as we speak. A lot of us are in the New York area, maybe some of us are in, various places. But we're all on a sphere. So we could certainly picture this kind of spherical system. So in that spherical system, you could picture the North Pole and the South Pole, right? These 2 points, North Pole, South Pole. And you can connect them with lines. And so now we're in a spherical system now. And you can connect them with lines. In fact, they are connected by lines on the maps, and they call them, do you know what they call them? They call them the longitudinal lines, okay? And guess what? In a spherical system, you could connect these 2 poles, these vertices, and it would make what you could call a bigon. But B-I-G-O-N, bigon, a polygon with 2 vertices. But that doesn't really work on the plane though, because these don't look like straight lines. See, in a spherical system, they could be perfectly straight and it would be just fine. One could be on one side of the Earth and one could be on the other side of the Earth. They're straight lines connecting the same 2 points. But on a plane, and we're going to focus on the plane in this class, so don't worry about spherical coordinates, okay? This is not where the course is going. I'm just giving you an example. The planar system does not allow for bigons because you can't have 2 points connected by 2 different straight line segments. See, the line segments, the edges have to be straight. So there's only one straight line segment connecting these vertices. So we can't really have a bigon in the plane. Does that make sense? I'm just kind of starting from the bottom. How many vertices do we have to have? Is there a lower limit? Is there an upper limit? So we're coming up on the lower limit. 2 is not enough for the plane. So we're going to let bygons be bygons. And we're going to move on. We're going to add a vertex. And we're going to be talking about triangles to start. So this makes sense in a planar world, right? So triangles. Let's put this word up here. Triangles. So 3 is the lowest number of vertices you can have for a polygon in the plane. We do focus on planar systems only, and you have to have at least 3 vertices for you to be able to connect them with unique straight line segments. Now, sometimes we say n equals 3. N would be the number of edges or number of vertices, same thing. And triangles, by the way, notice how the word is a little bit different. Triangle. It's not called trigon, although theoretically we could call it a trigon. But I guess triangle is so popular, such a prevalent concept, that they decided to, anglicize it, make it more English sounding. So tri, like 3, tree, angles. So they actually made it English. So triangle. So 3 angles. But it's the same kind of word as polygon. Poly means many, gon means angle. So these words get a little mixed up. They could have called it polyangle. Yeah, polyangles. That would be, yeah. Trigon, polyangle. But the custom dictates that we call them polygon and triangle. Triangle is a polygon. It's a subfamily of polygons. And it's those polygons that have 3 angles. Anymore, we're not going to call them triangles. Call them something else. Now, in the book, by the way, I have my copy. Do you have yours? You don't have to say. For the next homework, I can still, I can take a copy of the relevant pages. In fact, I'll probably take a photo for you to work on or do some reading by Tuesday. But you should get access to it somehow pretty soon. This is what the book looks like. And in the book, they talk about how you can classify triangles. And we can do that. Classify triangles in 2 ways. By angles and by obviously edge lengths. So if we're classifying by angles, then let's see, I'll put that here. These are going to be pretty, oops. I don't think this thing has an undo. You notice how I switched T and H by accident. Whatever. So if we classify by angles, what that means is you can have something called a right triangle. Right triangle is a triangle that has one right angle. Like so. So there's one angle there that is 90 degrees. That's what a right angle means. So there's one 90-degree angle. So we call those right triangles. You have triangles that have, do you know what it's called when you have an angle that's more than 90 degrees?
Obtuse.
Wow, who remembered that, Fiona?
Yeah.
Oh my God. How did you know that?
I wonder.
Oh, it's deep in there. Like I feel like some
okay.
of this stuff is like you saw it enough times that you can't get rid of it now.
It's engraved into my head.
It's in there. It's tattooed in your brain somewhere.
Yes, it is.
So it's there, and what that means basically is you have one angle that's greater than 90. So there's one angle that's greater than 90 degrees. Could you have more than one angle that's greater than 90?
No, you cannot.
No. Oh, yeah, we forgot to mention this little fact that with triangles, actually, maybe you could tell me, since a lot of this stuff is tattooed in your brain now. But can you tell me like a basic fact about angles and triangles? Vertex angles.
They all have to equal 180 when you add them up.
That's it.
Because they're a straight line.
Yeah, so the three vertex angles add up to 180 degrees. Now, where does that come from?
Isn't it just like a straight line, something like that, when you undo the triangle?
That's one way to look at it. Yeah.
I remember there was something we learned when you like take apart each line segment, like the different lengths of them and something like that. I don't really remember what it was exactly, but.
Well, yeah, there's various ways to think about it, but basically this fact comes from Euclid. It was in a book called The Elements, and he offered it as like this what do you call postulates, and Euclid's fifth postulate. So he offered 5 postulates, right? And he said that, and the first 4 were kind of easy. You know, oh yeah, well, let's take that as fact. Let's take that as fact. And the 5th postulate. So it's like assumption, basically. We're going to assume it's true. His 5th assumption was that this basically that the 3 vertex angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees. And at first, people said, "Oh yeah, sure, okay, that sounds really good, really good." But then some time passed, and some math people started thinking about that. Like, wait a minute, is that really true? Does it have to be true? Is it really always true? Maybe it's true sometimes. Can it be? So they started trying to prove it, and that did not go well. And in like almost 2,000 years that people were trying to prove it, weirder and weirder things would come up, and it was almost like a gateway to something really wacky. If you assume it's true, and you work with that, you know, some kind of weird things happen. But if you assume it's not true, and then even crazier things will happen. And people just mathematicians realized, you know what we have is basically 2 different universes. We have the universe where it's true. This 5th postulate is true. And then we have this other universe where it's not true. And so the first universe, it's called Euclidean geometry. And that's basically what we're looking at now. These are the planar geometries. And then the other stuff is called non-Euclidean geometry. And these spherical coordinates that I was talking about over here in the bottom left, these live in a non-Euclidean world. Let me show you what a triangle might look like on a sphere. So this is a little, beyond this course or whatever, but I hope you bear with me here. It's almost 6 o'clock. So think about 2 points on the equator, okay? And then let's do North Pole. So what would it? Let me connect these points. So these are now 3 points on the sphere. So 2 points on the equator. Like maybe here on the left is Ecuador. Okay. So here's Ecuador, and then this is a piece of the equator, and then maybe the right point is like, I don't know, somewhere in the east coast of South America. Then let's connect these to the North Pole. So what happens is that they kind of go like this, right? This is what spherical lines look like. See, they're actually straight lines, but because I'm projecting it to the two-dimensional space, they look curved. They don't. But really, if you think about the sphere, yeah, they're straight lines. So what's actually going on here, if you think just a second, I have a 90-degree angle here and a 90-degree angle here. So what could this be, right? If we went by the 3 vertex angles add up to 180 degrees, then this thing would have to be 0, this North Pole angle. But it's not. In the spherical coordinates, a triangle has more than 180 degrees in the vertex angles. Then there are different geometries where it actually adds up to less than 180 degrees. But in a planar world, it's true that 3 vertex angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So that was kind of a nutshell description of the 2 different universes that you get by either assuming this is true or assuming it's not true. So you can't actually prove it because it's simply not always the case. But in this Euclidean world, in the planar geometry, it is true. And you can use this fact. And we're going to use it all the time. Okay, so we're going to use this fact that the sum of the vertex angles for a triangle is 180 degrees. We're going to use that fact many, many times. So what I'm talking about here is this one, and this one in any triangle, A, B, and C. So the angle A plus angle B plus angle C equals 180 degrees. Okay? So we're going to use that many, many times. And in the planar geometry, that is just the way it is. So with that in mind, you can only have one right angle in a triangle. Because if you had a second one, that'd be 90 plus 90. That would already be 180, and that would leave nothing for the third angle. And all the angles have to be positive. So this is not the Pythagorean theorem. That's a little bit different. That's a good one. That's talking about the lengths of the sides, which we're actually probably not even going to do at all. You might be relieved to find that we're not going to be talking about the Pythagorean theorem. This is a different geometry course than your typical one. Yeah, this is like almost the most typical geometry lesson that you're going to get all semester. Okay, but I have to do this because we have to understand the basics of polygons. So I'm doing this now. Okay, so acute triangle is something that has angles where every angle is less than 90. Every angle is less than 90. Okay, now if we want to, so these are the three categories classified by angle. So right triangle, obtuse triangle, acute triangle. You don't have to memorize them. You can access them from your notes or what have you. With edge length, do you know what it's called when you have three equal sides?
Equilateral.
Yep. Yes, that's it. So equilateral, equilateral, I think both are correct. So that's the kind of triangle where all the sides are the same, like that. So they might all measure 1, they might all measure 10 or 50, but they're all the same length. Sometimes we indicate that with these little lines. A line like this means these are the same. Okay, so let's see what else. What do you call it if you have a pair of sides? That's
Isosceles.
yes. Who said that?
Fiona.
Oh my God! So you really know this stuff. Well, maybe many of you do. But yeah, isosceles triangle is where you have two equal sides, and then the third is something else. And those are nice. Nothing wrong with the isosceles triangles. So these are equal here, these guys, and then the base, the bottom one here would be different. Thirdly, do you know what you call a triangle where all the edge lengths are different?
Scaling.
Wow, I'm shocked. I barely remember any of this, to be honest. But anyway, yeah, scaling triangle is where all the angles are, all the edge lengths are different. So my space is a little limited, so I'm just going to make like something like this. All the angles are different. So I'll use my method of marking the edge length. So here's one length, here's another length that's different, and here's a third length that's different. Okay, wow. I think that's about all I want to know about triangles for the moment. Any questions about triangles? How about this? I got a question for you. Could you draw an example of a right isosceles triangle?
No, that's not possible.
A right. I'm going to erase this whole thing, okay? So right isosceles triangle. Does anyone want to draw one? You all have a pen.
It's not possible.
A right isosceles. Some of them are not possible, but I do believe this one is.
Is it?
Okay, who's drunk? That looks like a drunk triangle. I didn't have a category for that. But yes, so this one is good, and this one is good. This one here, this looks a little bit more like a scalene right triangle. So you get half the credit. Yes, so the idea is that you have one 90-degree angle and you have two sides that are equal. And the lines indicate edge length. And if there was just a one line, it doesn't actually mean anything. But if there are two lines with the same, like here's 1 and a 1, that's indicating that these are the same length. That's what that means. And then 2 means it's not saying it's twice the length or anything like that. It's saying that it's just different. There's a second measurement. So yeah, this scenario here that we have, you can't actually have that, because the only way you can have a isosceles right triangle is that those ones that are the same adjacent to the right. Not going to get to the y's in the house, but yeah, this here, it would have to take place in kind of bizarre world. Okay, can you draw lateral? Is my connection better now? Can you guys hear me? Yeah, I wasn't really saying anything. Just hoping to get a stronger connection here. Go in and out. Yeah.
This is
Sorry
one of the
about that.
ones you can't draw.
Yeah, this is not. Yeah, this is not possible. Anyway, let's end it. So we'll end it here because I guess I'm not being heard very well. So for homework, do the project. Also look at pages 13 to 19 in the textbook. That's, yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. And do you guys have any questions? Anything fun?
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Have a nice
Have a
weekend.
great
Thank you.
weekend.
Bye bye.
Thank you.